Hey, George Williams, CEO of ReliabilityX, and today we're talking asset management systems. Let's take a deeper dive into an asset management system. An asset management system is all of the components or elements and processes, procedures, standard work, everything that we're doing to set a strategy and execute against that strategy. Why put it into an entire system? Why not just let work orders spit out and go execute the work? Well, an asset management system ensures that you execute in a standard. Well, it doesn't ensure it because you can execute against the standard, but it sets in place a standard for executing against. And if everybody is following the standard, then you either are successful or not successful, and you can make adjustments to the approach. If everyone is doing whatever they feel like doing and executing the way they want to execute and developing a strategy the way they want to develop a strategy, and that keeps changing hands, then there's a lack of control. So the reason you have an asset management system in place is to control the mechanisms that develop strategy, that execute against that strategy, that analyze the data, and then make adjustments from there. This is all part of the plan, do, check, act cycle for asset management, maintenance, and reliability. It all starts with understanding our goals. And so from an asset management perspective, we have to understand our company goals. We have to understand how that translates to asset management objectives or asset management goals. And then we develop a strategic asset management plan. That strategic asset management plan essentially connects the stakeholders to the execution and creates this asset management system. So in the asset management system, now that we have some goals, we have to understand what those goals are against. And that's our asset portfolio. This is what equipment exists, what intellectual property, if it's IT, if it's just production stuff, if it's facility stuff and production stuff, if there's no production stuff and then you have just facilities. This is what do I own, how critical is it, and how does it fail? That boils into an asset-specific strategy, a strategy down at the equipment level of how you will operate, maintain, upkeep, whatever you're going to do to derive the actual actions. What is the strategy to make sure we get value from this piece of equipment? How are we going to center line it? What does that look like? What's the standard work on the operator side of things? How do we PM it? What are the wear components? What's our stocking strategy? All of that sits here. We then move into the do section of our plan, do, check, act cycle, and this is where we manage the work. And in most cases, this is our maintenance organization managing it through the CMMS. However, we still have to manage the operation side. So this are things like breakdowns and unscheduled work where we send people out, they end up getting their parts and executing if there's parts. And then we have things that are system generated, like preventive maintenance and predictive maintenance work orders, and things that come out of our backlog that can be planned and scheduled. Those things feed into the planning and scheduling process. Again, parts, schedule, execute, and very important, feedback. Feedback is not only, the work was done, okay, check this. We want feedback from the field, but you better act on it, otherwise it'll stop. All of this in part feeds into our data analysis section. I say in part because data analysis comes from more than just the work order system. We want to look at the information coming from our SCADA system or our visual plant system or however you term that locally. We want to look at everything that deals with OEE, so our performance, availability, and quality numbers. We also want to look at things from our ERP system, our purchasing, our spend, our replacement asset value. All of those things feed into the analysis that helps us determine what we have to change. And that brings us to our continuous improvement part, or the ACT part. So in this part, what we are looking at are things that need to be different either in our strategy or to improve our plant performance to derive the value of assets. And so in this case, we're making our adjustments based on eliminating defects that may exist. And again, this can be on the operation side or the maintenance side. Just because you're in maintenance doesn't mean your job is maintenance. Your job is value from the asset. And so partner with operations and put standards in place. eliminate defects, capital replacement strategies, or potentially based on we need different material constructions, or these pumps aren't right for our process. Whatever the case may be, if you need capital dollars, that has to fit in there as well. We have to update processes. Sometimes we implement a process, I would say probably a vast majority of the times, the first time we implement a process, it's not exactly perfect. And so this plan, do, check, act cycle allows us to get feedback from the field on what's working and not working, and feed that into our processes. Sometimes we update processes, sometimes we create new processes because maybe, well, we didn't have one. And sometimes we actually eliminate processes if we can truncate the work completely out. We also have to update our strategy. Now, updating the strategy is not only based on feedback of execution, but also on changing business needs. If we're going to stop producing a specific product in 6 months, it doesn't make sense to continually order parts for PMs that are going to happen. So there we have a little bit more detail in an asset management system. And if you would like some more information on asset management systems, or to implement an asset management system, or to implement this asset management system, contact us at ask@reliabilityx.com.